Good evening. This is Tyler Royce from the Tyler the Weatherman Connecticut Forecast Center with this Friday evening update on Hurricane Irene. And there's some developing stuff as we speak right now. And first, I must have a little rant here that people need to calm down here. This isn't a Category 3. This isn't a Category 4. This is not a Category 5 hurricane. This is a Category 2, going to be 1, and when it reaches Connecticut, a weak Category 1 or strong tropical storm. We are going to survive this, but we do need to be prepared and act like responsible people here instead of panicking like the world is going to end. The world is not going to end, and please stop watching CBS News, NBC Nightly News, and ABC News until this is all over. Also, stop watching the Weather Channel as they are just giving horrendous information right now about this storm and putting panic into you. There should be no panic except for preparing you for this storm. And so, what we are looking at right here is the watches, the warnings, and the advisories for this storm coming up the East Coast. Right now, southern Connecticut, that goes from Fairfield to New London counties, they're under a tropical hurricane warning. The 4 northern counties from Litchfield to Windham, you are under tropical storm warnings. And what this is basically telling us, these warnings are telling us that we will be feeling tropical storm conditions in the northern part of the state and hurricane conditions on the southern part of the state. Now, this doesn't mean that parts of northern Connecticut will be feeling hurricane force, because they probably will be. It doesn't mean that parts of southern Connecticut will be dealing with tropical storm force. They will be. This is all showing up as what most likely will be happening. And so, we go to an 8 p.m. update, and basically Irene is near the North Carolina coast, and we're going to see satellite and radar in a few moments, and it's still a strong Category 2 hurricane right now. And pressure has increased a little bit, and if we go to satellite here, we basically see Irene has kind of lost its eye, and its central core is kind of diminishing. But nevertheless, it is a humongous storm out there. And so we can see the cloud cover goes all the way to the South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee area, and the higher clouds go for much of North Carolina. If we go to regional radar out there, we basically see the outer bands of Irene coming into North Carolina, and even Raleigh is dealing with some precipitation from that, and we can see the counterclockwise circulation. So those who are going to be on the west side or the left side of the storm will be dealing with northeast to north to northwest winds, while those who are on the right side or on the east side of the storm will be dealing with southwest to north, or from southwest to southeast winds. And so this is what Irene currently looks like, affecting the North Carolina, Southern Carolina, and even close to the Virginia Beach area. And so basically we're going to take a look at the current track right now. The current track has, if we zoom into the North Carolina region, basically anywhere from Morehead City and the Cape Hatteras region, the Outer Banks, is where we're going to be looking at for the first landfall. And you basically see it will be a Category 1, and they're predicting a strong Category 1 at that, 86 mile per hour winds. And now if we go further up the coastline, basically it's going to be skirmishing right along the mid-Atlantic coast and along the New Jersey coastline before it comes up towards Connecticut and New England. And one thing here is that the National Hurricane Center is predicting is that it will right along the coastline of the East Coast, be east of New York City, right up from between Stamford Bridgeport, just east of Torrington towards Windsor Locks. And one thing I really want to show you is that when this storm here is in just east of Torrington, it's going to be just morning time, it looks like. We have increased the timing to be late morning time. So This here says 14 EDT. That's actually early afternoon. Pardon my. That's around 2 p.m. So landfall will actually occur in southern Connecticut around the noon time, and it will finally take its place towards Torrington around the 2 p.m. time. One thing to note about this storm is that it's a slow-moving storm. So yes, it might be a strong tropical storm once it reaches the Torrington, Burlington, Horrington area, but it's going to be moving on 10 miles per hour. So this storm is going to be moving faster than, let's say, a school bus going up East Main Street here in Torrington. So it's going to be going very slow, dumping lots of rain with the wind. And the projected wind here is 69 miles per hour with wind gusts close to 90 miles per hour. And one thing I do want to show here is the wind radiuses of what the projection is. And if we can bring this wind radius down a bit, we are basically seeing this is this lighter, the yellowish greenish color where my cursor is. This is where it's the strongest color, strongest wind I should say, and that is about 50 greater wind. The wind radius is in this area. You'll see winds greater than 50 knots, and that's actually equivalent to 57 miles per hour. The lighter green here is above 34 knots, which is equivalent to 39 miles per hour. So on the eastern side of the storm, you'll be experiencing more wind. It'll be windier. The sustained winds will be heavier compared to on the west side, where the wind will be not as sustained as much as the storm progresses. And finally, but not least, just going through what we can predict with the sustained wind probabilities, is that the winds here in this maroonish orangey color is greater than 60 miles per hour. So that's what we can be expecting for this for most of Connecticut, and this is why we're under the tropical storm warning for much of southern New England, hurricane warnings for along the I-95 corridor. And last but not least, I would like to go, and we're going to play once again, get to draw on the maps with the official track. And once again, I'll draw my official track, which has it just east of JFK, going through just east of Torrington towards Westfield, and heading off into well, that's bad image, I should say. I should apologize. Just like this, just to Westfield and heading off into New Hampshire. And once again, if we go to the paintbrushes, the main concern is right here, or if you're along the shoreline or along any river that leads to the Connecticut Sound and to Long Island Sound, is that you're going to be dealing with storm surge, especially to the east of the storm. Storm surges could be from 4 to 8 feet above the current sea level, which is going to be high tide at the time. But nevertheless, here, once again, I'll reiterate, heavier winds, possible isolated tornadoes, so do not be surprised. Tornado watch is issued. And to the west of the storm track, we're going to be seeing the heavier rains closer to the 10-inch mark. The winds won't be as bad as it is on the eastern half, but nevertheless, the wind, with the heavier rains, the wind will trees will be able to be knocked down even easier. And so, last but not least, I wanted to point out is that please stay tuned to your local TV stations. They'll have the better coverage compared to any of the national TV coverages out there. I would like to once again tell everyone to calm down, be relaxed, be prepared here. Our lives, we're still going to be live come Monday, unless we do something stupid and like go outside to the docks and have waves crash us down. Be smart here, people. Be safe. Another update will be coming tomorrow morning. Have a good evening, everyone.